What's going on, Dan K Show fans? Long time no see. It's Dan K, it's Lucas Jones, and you're watching the show that got over 563,000 views in the month of September on social media of its goal calls and shows combined. A show with over 1.8 million impressions on social media in just the month of September, and a show that is watched by scouts, coaches, players, parents, and fans across the country. This is the Dan K Show, the best show in junior hockey. Alright, here we go, Dan K Show fans. Time to get down to it with the way we start every show all 5 years we've done this thing. 3 things. Dan K's 3 things. Thing number 1, Hitmen Classic coming up, and it's going to be a classic, and the Hitmen doing what they classically do, which is win non-stop at the NCDC level. Coach Harris, Coach Hunt, these boys are back at it again. I called them my Avengers this year. They were avenging an upset loss in the first round of the NCDC playoffs last year, 8-0 to start the year. They go into a hosted Hitmen Classic where they'll have 3 chances to keep this undefeated streak going. Speaking of the Hitmen Classic, thing number 2, we got a 7-game broadcast schedule. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll be there in Wayne, New Jersey. Dan K may be on the road in Houston on Sunday. We'll see. We'll see. Possibly the Bronx. But on Thursday night, our first broadcast will be on Hockey TV. That's an NCDC must-see matchup between the Northern Cyclones, Pal Junior Islanders, puck drop 7:45. Thing number 3 is where we start the show, and it is a team that we missed out on at the Southern Showcase. But we won't miss out on this team ever again. The Junior Canes, baby. And they've been so sweet as they sweep the #1 team in our USPHL Premier Power Rankings, the Hampton Roads Whalers this past weekend. The Carolina Junior Canes, Lucas. Welcome to the show, and welcome to a discussion on a team that might be the best team in the Premier right now.
I mean, what a way to show up, right? We always talk about that week after the Power Rankings where sometimes you'll see teams, maybe don't live up to the rankings, but in this case, I think not only do they live up to their ranking, they might have shown us that we should have put them a little bit higher. The Hampton Roads Whalers in the Premier is a really, really tough team. They're full of speed and they're full of skill, they're full of size. Those guys are no joke. They keep coming back year after year, and the Junior Canes swept them. That's incredible.
It's an amazing, amazing weekend, and you see this is what we've had problems with our Premier and Elite Power Rankings the last 2 years here. Is there's such great parity, there's such great contrast throughout this USPHL framework in the Premier and Elite levels that it's so hard to pinpoint that number 1, right? 1 through 10 are like 1A through 1, what's the 10th letter in the alphabet? Put you on the spot
G.
there? G, nice. G, as in goal scored.
It's not G.
Oh, and you're wrong. It's I. It's I.
I was close.
We'll try it again. Hey,
I panicked.
Get back to school if you haven't gone to school yet, kids. We're going to get there. That's the next level. That's where we're going. But you talk about it here, and this is a Carolina Junior Canes team that ended the Southern Showcase by losing to the Tampa Bay Juniors and losing to the Florida Eels. And the Florida Eels had it out for us when they saw them at themselves at number 6. And, after this Junior Canes sweep, you may see the Eels and Junior Canes by the end of October if things keep going this way at the top 2 spots there, at least near it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, between what we saw from the Florida Eels at that Southern Showcase and what we're seeing from the Junior Canes after that Southern Showcase, it's some great stuff coming out of there. One of the things that you always hope for is that sustained success as a hockey team, right? You go in, you beat the big guys, but you also have to come back and you got to beat the rest of the guys too. And sometimes you have your good weekends and bad weekends, but what keeps a team up in that #1 spot is consistency against everyone. I mean, how many times have the Yankees duked it out with, the Red Sox, but then can't beat a team like the Pirates or the Royals? It's one of those things where you have to be consistent if you want to stay at the top.
I look at this Carolina Junior Hurricanes team, this Junior Canes team, and I see a team similar to the big boys, the big Canes right now, right? The Carolina Hurricanes. It's a team that's got the depth. They get enough goaltending, they get enough net minding, and you look at a guy like Brian Pierce with 7 goals and 2 assists, 2 of them coming shorthanded. Sorry, one of them coming as a game-winning goal. But 2 of the shorthanded goals, yeah, he had 2 shorthanded goals. I'm tripping all over myself. But yeah, Brian Pierce with 2 shorthanded goals this year. This is a guy, Lucas, does it on the PK, does it on the offensive side of the ice, and then you look at net and you see some familiar faces there having success.
Yeah, you see Jack Perna, who right now has been absolutely dominant, 4-1 in 5 games, 1.62 goals against average, a .951 save percentage in almost 300 minutes of hockey. That is absolutely incredible. And we talk all the time about how important it is to have 2 goaltenders in the mix.
Yep.
Well, you've got Daniel Vecca, 3-1 record, a little bit of higher goals against average, 3.39 with a .885. This guy's a rookie.
Yeah.
So this is a guy with a very high ceiling, stays committed to that Junior Canes organization. I mean, you have the skill, and the rest will follow.
It's like that Mrazek and McElhaney and Crawford kind of look, Darling kind of look over there. Wrong Chicago Blackhawk goaltender from Dan K. But you look at this team, and you got guys like Zach Horn here, centerman, who's got 10 assists. You got a balanced scorer in Alex Nilsson, who's a rookie with 5 and 5 there. This is a team that's going to get it from all over. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to put the puck in the back of the net. A name that I remember from last year, a guy who stood out to me, Jonathan Davenport. Jonathan Davenport, number 3 with this squad. This is a young man that's he's always gonna be able to kind of stretch the ice on you because he's good with the passing game. He's good on the outlet pass. He's good on the break. He's really a heady hockey player, as Lucas uses. A smart hockey player, a guy who gets out in front of the game and makes things happen. This is a team, future's bright right now.
Yeah, and especially with guys like Davenport, if you're only going by the score sheet, then you're going to get a Category 5 Davenport breezing by you on the ice, because those are the guys that their success doesn't show up on a score sheet, doesn't show up on a plus-minus. You have to go and you have to watch the impact that they have on the game.
Let's talk about impact on a game in a come-from-behind victory. I promised this on our hashtag Midwest Mondays, which you'll see every Monday from the Dan K Show's social media accounts. Hashtag Midwest Mondays coming at you each and every Monday. Make sure to watch, Midwest fans. That'll be either in between the 7 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern. That's 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Central hours each and every Monday. Starring Dan K or Lucas Jones at times. I know you like to talk Midwest hockey.
Oh yeah, I love talking about Midwest hockey, and we are going to talk about some Midwest hockey after this.
Welcome to the USPHL's most complete show, covering the NCDC Premier and Elite Leagues, the Dan K Show. Dan K and Lucas Jones.
As promised, let's dive into what might be, as of now, the game of the year in the USPHL Premier. Minnesota Moose taking on a Minnesota Blue Ox. This was a battle royale, a battle of Minnesota dynasties right here. Zach Earl gets things started for the Blue Ox. He's followed up by 2 more goals. Oliver de Crook getting a 3rd one there. It's 3-0 Blue Ox in the first period. Matteo Minotti, this young man, was playing out of his mind. This guy was Matteo. For you Ranger fans, that's Mato. But he makes it 3-1. Next thing you know, you're heading to the 3rd period here, Lucas. You're down 5-3 as the Minnesota Moose. A team that, if they lost, would have made it 2 consecutive years now where nobody from the Midwest West has ever been in our top 10 Premier Power Rankings and not lost the first game out. They find a way. And how do they find a way? Matteo Minotti, the 4-goal performance. Michael Lewis added the game tire. Matteo Minotti, 13 minutes into the 3rd period, scores the game winner, assisted by Jack Karoluk, a young man we know from his Jersey Hitman days who's made the move out Midwest, along with Eli Kopesh. This team, Lucas, seems like a team that will not be denied. And right now, an early Dan K Show, Dan K stamp of approval of the Moose potentially being a title contender.
Yeah, I mean, they showed up. They were fired up towards the end of last season. I think they felt like they should have gone all the way last year. Talking to some of those parents, talking to some of those players, they thought they had all the right pieces of the puzzle. This year, it looks like they might have it again. Looks like they're making a big run. If they can stay in the power rankings for 2 months in a row, they've already surpassed every other
Anybody in the Midwest
team.
West. Nobody in the Midwest West has stayed in the power rankings back-to-back months, and I'm so tired of being a Midwest West jinx. I'm tired of it, folks. We're all Midwest this year.
We're all Midwest, and you know, how about Matteo Minotti doubling the amount of doubling the amount of goals he had in just 1 game.
4 goals, 1 assist, 17 penalty minutes. Young man did it all. Got himself dumped from the game there. Matteo Minotti with a big-time performance, filling every bit of the stat sheet there. And on the other side, Oliver de Crook for the Minnesota Blue Ox, folks. Watch out. He's going to be dangerous. You know, this is a Blue Ox team. You can see offensively, guys we saw last year like Nick Spolek getting involved still on the offensive side for the Blue Ox. You don't score 5 goals off of Maximilian Hasselbacher very often, and they took it to the max against Max there. Lucas, one more team before we get ourselves to the empty net here that I want to talk about. The Minnesota Mullets. The Mullets are a squad. Obviously, you love the Threads. I was talking about them on the Midwest Mondays, and I kind of told folks, I gave them a little teaser. We're going to talk a little Minnesota Mullets here today.
Yeah, I mean, I love where the Mullets are at right now. They're 3rd place in their division, and they're doing it on the back of some great teamwork and some great passing ability. It's always a good sign when your top 2 scorers in Cooper Hoheisel and Tyler Perkins at 13 points apiece are both 3 goals and 10 assists. That's something that shows you that the team is strong this year, and one of the things that, you know, we kind of saw with the Mullets last year was that sometimes the play tends to break down a bit, but this year it looks like the Mullets have addressed those issues. They've got some great passing going, some great scoring ability going, and I love what some of these guys are doing. They're active on the power play. Jake Lindblom, two power play goals, 2 power play assists. Yep. You know, they're active in all facets of the game. This Midwest team, or I should say this Midwest division, might be one of the strongest divisions from top to bottom in the USPHL Premier.
The big question every year to this division is who's going to end up in it, because there's always a huge upset in the postseason. Guys are always beat up by the time they get out of that postseason, and it's tough. Then you come out and you got to battle in nationals. We're going to see that this year. Guy that's going to help them out a lot. I think a big turning point for this team this year is Jack Bostad. And I think Bostad here, he's a .934 saves percentage, which is huge. He's a 2.84 goals against. Guys faced 259 shots, facing a ton of shots, but he's made 242 stops. This is a team with, right now, you talked about Hoheisel and Perkins, top 20 in the Premier in points right now. A netminder in Jack between the pipes. This is a team that can do a lot. Come postseason time, that netminder decides to stand on his head there, and you could have yourself a Minnesota Mullets trip to Natties. This Midwest-West division is going to be fun. We want you to reach out to us at _DanK Show and tell us your thoughts on the Midwest-West division, and let us know maybe a team that we've missed on this week's episode and who we should talk about on hashtag Midwest Monday coming up this Monday. Welcome to the Empty Net. Alright, DanK Show fans, welcome to our favorite segment of every show where we talk to you at home. It's the Empty Net. It's time for us to chat with you, but first, we remind you we'll be at the Hitmen Classic starting tonight. It's Thursday night.
We're
taping
there.
on Wednesday. We're here right now. Turn on Hockey TV right now. 7:45 p.m. Eastern puck drop. PAL Junior Islanders taking on the Northern Cyclones. Our first time doing a game for both squads this year. Well, second PAL. Second PAL. First time doing a Northern Cyclones game. It should be a good one. After that, we'll have some Friday broadcasts. We'll have Saturday as well all day long from Wayne, New Jersey. Make sure to tune in. Also, there's a lot of other showcases going on around the league here, Lucas, and one that we had, I'll tell you, about a baker's dozen, as they say out there in the Midwest. We had a baker's dozen of people asking us if we were going to make it out to the Detroit showcase out there hosted by the Metro Jets. Unfortunately, not in the budgetaries there, so we're going to stay home. We're going to stay here in Wayne, but we got some awesome stuff, and Stas reached out and said he's excited to watch the Decatur Blaze.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun division, as we've already said, and it's going to be a great showcase. I feel like when we're not going to be at the Hitmen showcase on maybe Friday and, you know, later on Sunday night, that's going to be our chance to catch up on some of those matchups.
Oh, we're going to be watching them all weekend long on Hockey TV the same way you should be as well. The Springfield Picks reached out. They swept the elite squad of the Junior Bruins this weekend. That's a big time weekend for the Picks as well. And then Lucas and Dan. They got us from the golf course here.
Yep.
It's at Salamander Hotel. They reached out and said, if you didn't capture it, did it even happen? This was actually the snake pit selfie, Lucas, from the day. And Lucas, are you putting this up on the show?
Yes.
This is the snake pit selfie from, if Lucas remembers correctly, Lucas drove a nice little drive down dead center, said, beat that. I did beat that, and then I birdied the hole, which, let's not talk about all the other 17 holes.
No.
Let's just talk about that
the
one hole. Dan K knows how to play the hits.
Dan does not like being directly challenged, especially in a competitive. He hates being directly challenged, and he hates when I do the gopher dance from Caddyshack in celebration. If that happens, he sees red. And
I do.
That's
I get mad. I've got a bit of a temper, folks, but you know what I'm never mad about? Covering hockey, and we hope to do so much more, but hope to do so much more hockey coverage for you throughout the year. If it's up to us, man, we'll be everywhere, every minute, every day, covering hockey, making sure that your favorite hockey player is getting absolutely put out there on blast, in a good way, and shown off to the scouts, coaches, and everyone at the next level. Let's get these hockey players to the next level, babe. You need the Dan K Show, you reach out to us, www.dankshow.com. And if you need parting words, you always go to Lucas Jones. He's got nothing else to say. All I got to say is, after doing the tallies, man, for the month of September, thank you so much for all the support. Shared by over 100 pages on Goal Calls. Over 563,000 views and counting on Goal Calls from Dan K, from game clips, and from our shows. The support has been tremendous. The outreach has been incredible. The amount of people asking us to come out to events just a month into the season. And folks, we want to be everywhere, so please make sure to reach out to us. Let everyone know that you want the Dan K Show at your next event. You want more Dan K Show, because that's what we want to give you. More Dan K Show. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I don't know.
You know, like the Beatles song, 8 Days a Week, I Love You? That's how I feel about hockey. I would do it 8 days a week.
8 days a week?
Yeah, right now we do it like 7 days a week.
I would say it's a comfortable 7.
It's a comfortable 7.
Yeah.
It's an uncomfortable 7 at times. I mean, you tend to not sleep, and I tend to not sleep.
Yeah, well, the best editing is done at night, because then no one bothers you. That's the trick. Your phone blows up during the day, you can't get anything done, but at night, everyone else is asleep. It's a big brain move.
Lucas is big on dressing as a vampire and editing in the dark. Last time I walked in on him editing, upside down, feet hanging from the ceiling. Scared the bejesus out of me.
Blood to the brain makes it go faster.
That is true. Science.